Hello, everybody. My name is Jerry Cox, and I graduated with my CELTA from CAIC in the middle of August of this year. I think it was the 18th of August. Um, Prior to becoming a teacher, I was a jobbing musician. As you can probably see, there's some instruments on the wall behind me. And I decided to do CELTA because I was looking for not a career change as such, but an additional career. Because I didn't want to be still a jobbing musician going out playing music late at night in bars and things when I'm 60, and that's not that far away. I didn't want to have to do that. I wanted to have something else. So I decided teaching would be a good thing to do. It was something that I'd always had in the back of my head as a potential career. So I saw an ad for CELTA on Facebook of all places, and I attended a information session and I signed on for the course. And then COVID-19 happened. And so we were in lockdown when my course started. As a result of that, I had to do the entire course online via Zoom, just like I'm doing this now. Initially, I was a little worried about whether it would be as good an experience as doing the course in the physical classroom. Those fears were very quickly allayed. The quality of the course materials, the quality of the tuition, the whole quality of the way the whole thing was run was second to none. It didn't suffer in any way by being done online. If anything, there was certain advantages to it. I enjoyed the course immensely. And since I came out of the course, I came out in, as I said, late August. Since then, I did a little bit of internship teaching here and there just to get some classroom experience, because the one thing about the online CELTA was that at the end of it, I was a Cambridge qualified teacher who had never set foot in a classroom. And so I needed to get some physical classroom experience. And I did some of that at CAIC too, actually. And then, since October, I've been working at 2 schools here in Singapore, and I haven't stopped. I've been teaching every day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7, sometimes 8 hours a day. So it was meant to be a kind of part-time additional career. It has taken on a life of its own now, and I'm very, very happy. I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. And certainly doing it at CAIC was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Didn't. I mean, I was vaguely aware of CELTA, but I didn't I mean, not CELTA specifically, but I was aware of these courses that one can do to become an English language teacher, an ESL teacher. I was vaguely familiar with words like TESOL and TEFL and stuff, but I didn't know that these were like blanket umbrella terms, and that CELTA is one of the courses within that. It was only when I attended Harvin's information session, which I think was in February or March, that he taught me through all that, and he explained TESOL, TEFL, CELTA, and then I said, all right, so CELTA is the course I want to do if I'm going to do this. That's the one I want to do because it's the global recognition, and it's Cambridge, and it's British government, and so on. And he explained it. He said you can do it at the British Council or you can do it here. Up to a couple of years ago, it was only the British Council. So I wasn't aware until then that it was the British Council or CAIC. I did briefly look at the British Council's offering after that, but in terms of quality of what was on offer, I didn't see any difference. In terms of what the cost was involved, there was a difference. CA was significantly, I'm loath to use the word cheaper. It was less expensive. I think it was more, there was greater value on offer because there was I think it was something like 8 or 10 hours of pre-course workshops that we were able to attend, which was free. And of course, there was the paying by installments option for MasterCard holders, which the British Council didn't have. So overall, CA just made it easier and less expensive to get my CELTA. But because the whole thing had come about because it was a CA ad that had popped up on my Facebook. And it was a CA information session I attended. I don't know, it would have been a bit rude to go and do the course at British Council after that. I think Harvin might have been a bit dark on me if that happened. After all his hard work, I went and signed up for the British Council. I don't think that would have been acceptable, really. So that's why I chose to do it at CA, because it was CA that first attracted me to the idea, if you like. Don't worry about what you don't know. You'll pick it up as you go along, especially if you're, oh, I can't teach English. My grammar is dreadful. Everyone's grammar is dreadful. Every native speaker I know, their grammar is either dreadful or it's very good, but they have what they call the intrinsic knowledge of grammar. Like they know a present simple from a past perfect, but they don't know why. So if a student was to ask you, why do you say I have done this and not I have been doing it? Well, I know why. But prior to CELTA, I wouldn't have been able to explain why. I just know because it's all I've ever known. I grew up with it. And coming into it, I was a little bit, I had some misgivings about the fact that my grammar isn't as polished as it might possibly should be. And how can I go into a classroom and not know this stuff? You know, I'll crash and burn. But you learn it by teaching it. You really, really do. And the great thing about CELTA is that you're teaching from day 2 of the course. Yeah, and that's quite scary, but it's great, you know, because you literally learn by when one person teaches, two learn. I believe that. And so my advice would be dive in, enjoy it, go with it. You will learn what you don't know. You'll pick it up. Yeah, and you'll also find that you know more than you think you know.